hemp cultivator. She's also a consultant based out of Memphis, Tennessee. And as you see, her products are on our table tonight, and we actually will have her in studio later this month. So pay attention to JayZ Elevation. I got a super dope guest in the building, man. What's up, Jah?
What up, man?
Man, we just had the best basketball conversation. It took me back to the time my wife had to get us off the phone from talking about Allen Iverson. Like, right. Like that real moments in real time, boy. But I got my boy Jah Rawlins in the building, and I'm going to give y'all a disclaimer. This probably will be the least cannabis episode I've ever had in my life. We're not talking about weed. We're talking straight about business, marketing, and some of the stuff he has coming up. But I felt like Jah's expertise when it comes to marketing and building brands is something that really people can pull no matter what industry you're in. So I
appreciate that.
No doubt, man. I think it's one of them things that really, what you do really should be able to resonate anywhere. So I thought it'd be a dope time to have you come on.
I appreciate you having me.
No doubt, man. So my first question, bro, let people know who you are and what you do.
Jah Rawlins, sports and entertainment marketing is my specialty. I'm the founder and CEO of the A.E.B.L, which is short for the Atlanta Entertainment Basketball League, and now a partner in Crew Marketing Agency, which is going to be one of the largest multicultural marketing agencies in the country, right here out of Atlanta. So if you guys seen a lot of like the It's a 404 campaign with AT&T, recently Shaq's Papa John's partnership, we've had a lot to do with that, over the last couple of months. So we've been in the background. Obviously, if anybody knows anything about marketing, you start in the background and then you build your way to the front. And that's where we're at right now. We're trying to be in the forefront of the changing and making sure that brands are respecting our culture, specifically here in Atlanta. People always say, like, how you rep Atlanta and you from New York, but it's like, this city, I've been here 20 years, man. Yeah. So I've been here longer than I lived in New York. In this city. Yeah, this city. And I've had my same 404 number for almost 16 years. Yeah. So, but I would just say, man, someone that's trying to cultivate and lead the Atlanta community and the culture, making sure that we stand out and we get what's due.
That's what's up, man. When I first met you, it was music though. You was deep in the music.
People
side.
Don't know that though.
Nah, yeah, I was thinking about that when I was walking down. I was like, I know we're known for the basketball and everything else, but I remember when I first met Jah, it was about producers. You know what I'm saying? Like he was putting us on to a lot of producers. Yeah. Talk to us about your early beginnings in the music industry, and I guess how that helped you trying to transition into where you are now.
Well, yeah, I think growing up in New York, everything was bigger than life. So I actually got an early start in the game as a basketball player. Like, I was a kid that, my family's from Brooklyn. My mom moved me to Long Island, so obviously, pretty much all the great MCs come from Long Island, and then they just and then they just hybrid to New York City.
Gotcha.
So being one of the young kids that had an early like Super Cat and Granddaddy IU and Big Daddy Kane. I mean, I can name them all. Busta Rhymes, Charlie Brown. Being able to see them on Long Island and then see them in the city being like these big mega stars, I was super interested in that. And people always are like, man, why you, like, literally, like, I just handed my son that magazine. I used to look in the magazines and how everybody else was looking at the superstars. I was always trying to read and figure out, like, who's behind this person, or like, how did they get in this magazine? So I feel like I started seeking marketing and branding early before I even knew what it was, right? Now that I'm older, I can look back and be like, man, I was kind of figuring this thing out. Yeah. But from the music, man, I've always loved music, and hip-hop culture is what moved me every day. And I remember walking on Jamaica Avenue. Like, it's crazy you were just talking about the mixtapes, because I was on Jamaica Avenue, man, and I walked into a sneaker store. I can't remember what sneaker store it was. And the dude had like all these posters all across the front of like the glass, the glass thing, but it was covering it. And I'm like, dude, like, what is this, right? Like, why does he have? Because I never had seen it before, or at least I never had paid it attention. And what I realized was that was people who was doing guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, man.
Back when you had to climb up the fence and trees and poles to put, posters up on artists or their albums that were coming out.
Shout out to Steve Rifkin.
Man. Yeah, man. Like the real back in the day, hustle grind, grassroots guerrilla marketing. And I saw kids doing it, man. And I was like, man, I want to do that. And that's how I got my first start, man. I was doing some like quote unquote interning, passing out flyers for Def Jam. They had just Method Man had just came out with an album. I think Busta's album had just came out shortly after that. And then, you know, my claim to fame is like I was one of the first people to bring like Fabulous to like a basketball game out on Long Island, you know, trying to just market them. So
it made sense though, you know. Now, well, looking at it now in 2020, totally makes sense to combine sports, hip hop, and a bunch of other things. Totally makes sense.
Yep. So so that was my entryway, man. And then I had a good example of fresh start with some of you may know or may not know, but A.E.B.L. The artist A.E.B.L. that used to be signed to Kedar Entertainment.
Yeah.
That was my childhood friend.
Okay.
So in middle school, man, like he was a big deal. Like you gotta think there was Bow Wow and him.
Yeah.
I don't think there was no other child prodigy at that time coming into the hip hop game and, you know, watching the twins. I think the twins live here now. I think I forget the brother's name. I know one name is Andrew Smith, the other one, but they was the Smith brothers. So they did a lot of production for like Kedar Entertainment and Rough Riders and brand, you know, big labels at that time, you know. And just watching them, it was like, man, I fell in love with like the music industry.
Yeah. I feel you. I remember back in the day when I remember going to magazines. I used to skip school and go straight to Tower Records. Like,
Word.
That's how I ended up being a journalist. Like I learned more sitting in. A matter of fact, I'm to this moment I'm shocked security never kicked me out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this 14-year-old kid with a whole backpack walks in here every day.
But the crazy thing is that you say that like Tower Records and Roosevelt Field Mall was like Barnes and Nobles. Mm-hmm. So you literally go in. They had the, you know,
just
you put the head. You go stay in there and listen to music all day, you know, and only play the snippets. But you got a chance to hear the music. Yeah.
But I feel because I used to read magazines all the time. I used to always want to know, well, who's this writer? Matter of fact, when I first met Brandon, I was tripping like, yo, I remember reading you first, like, yo, Brandon Peters. Now I get a chance to meet you.
Right.
I was never blown away by the rappers per se until I got into the industry. Really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I was always interested in who was behind the scenes and who was making these things
me too.
actually a thing.
Me too. And that's what, you know, that's literally kind of like my story is like, man, I had, you know, and you know, like I feel like, and I'm at that point in my career where like I don't mind telling people what I've done. Yeah. You know, before it was kind of like, yo, stay low. Yeah, exactly. You know, but it's like now we live in this social media microwave. You know, we used to talk about this. Remember the microwave artists, but like now everything is microwave because of social media. But there was a point in time when I feel like just as well as I'm pushing the basketball ecosystem, I was doing that for music with unsigned and indie artists. You know, there's not an artist up into the Migos that I hadn't worked with from either marketing, branding, putting them on shows. Like, you know, me, TKO had the Welcome to Atlanta series. Yeah. Every year, BET Hip Hop Awards came. All these artists, and I mean, God rest his soul, like Bankroll Fresh, he hadn't even blown up yet. But Leo Cohen and them came to the basement in Atlanta to see him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's crazy because I remember when my guy Al with Street Execs, he first told me about him. I was like, yo, that's the same dude that performed that? You know,
crazy, right?
Yeah, the Welcome to, so it was like to see that come full circle and dude get ready to be at the centerfold of the city was crazy. Yeah. You know, but it was I ain't gonna lie, man, it was hard sliding away from music. But the reason why I really had got into it, because my cousin at the time was an artist. He was, you know, we were trying to work on something with JayZ to try to get him. That didn't come through. Then, you know, my brother was rapping. Yeah. So, you know, shout out to Just Nice. He goes by Justin now.
Is he really? Is he just Justin?
Yeah, he's just Justin now. We still call him Just, but, you know, so he was doing his thing, man. We was touring. You know, I always say that he was like the Black Mac Miller. Mm-hmm. You know, like we were killing the college campuses. We was on MTV Jams every week. Yeah. And people were looking at us like, yo, this dude ain't on Hot 107.9. He not on V103. Yeah. How is he getting, you get what I mean? Because we just came out of the MySpace. We had just hit Instagram and Twitter where artists were really making noise on social media. Yeah. You know, so once he kind of got out of it, I was like, man, my love for it is gone. Because I never wanted, I wouldn't say I would never want to work for a label, but I never really see myself as like no A&R or working in as an exec. Like I just wanted to do marketing. Yeah. How can I take these artists connect them with brands and do something dope.
Yeah.
That was always my interest.
Yeah, well, you made a great career for yourself because the fact
appreciate
that
it.
you did what you did on the music side made it a lot easier for you to do our next topic, which is A.E.B.L. When I met you through the A.E.B.L, and this is why I was so attracted to what you was doing, and I was a real believer in it, because I saw that it could have been a Rucker. You
Yep.
know what I mean? I saw
Yep.
that you had the ability in the city that we were at, similar to how I do with Cash Color Cannabis. You have the ability to take people in this city who are known nationally and put them in this room
Yep.
and make this whole thing look bigger.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's what you did with A.E.B.L, and I
Yeah,
loved it.
I appreciate
still
that.
remember the first time walking out there, and matter of fact, our Lew Will interview. We were sitting there
Right.
interviewing Lew Will right when he got off that first injury.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is so. I'm hearing Migos in the back, people playing ball. I'm like, I feel like I
Right.
was back home.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
man. Talk to us about bringing A.E.B.L to life. So I know it wasn't easy. You got to navigate against other leagues. You got to navigate against a lot of stuff. Like,
Right.
what was the thing about putting together A.E.B.L?
I mean, it just, just like you said, man, it was like I had been in the world so long of trying to figure out the culture of Atlanta and what was important to them for basketball.
Yeah.
Growing up in New York, basketball is everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it was a little bit different here because it's kind of more music, and then football is the focal point sports-wise. And the Hawks hadn't been good for a while, so it was like the energy for basketball really wasn't here like it could have been. So when I saw that, man, I was like, man, I could do this. I could bring the Rucker to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And once I started gauging how we can impact the community, because that was what was most important to me first, was how can this uplift not only the basketball community, but the Atlanta community. We had some, you seen it. You was out there helping us, grinding. We had some tremendous hurdles early from getting permits and, being in the Fourth Ward, which is at that time was one of the worst neighborhoods in America.
Yeah, not to cut you off, I feel like what you was trying to do, especially trying to bring it outside, you got caught in such a matrix of this neighborhood was in the process of being gentrified.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what you were doing was something that would have been dope for what was before.
Yep.
But these new people out
Yep,
here,
they wasn't feeling it. They wasn't
man.
feeling it. And the crazy thing, man, and I'm a big research junkie. So while I was battling these different hurdles, I was researching like the community and what was going on. And from year 1 to year 2, man, the crime went down about 17% from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock
They had something to do.
every Saturday and Sunday.
Had something
So
to
you had multiple, and I don't know if you ever paid attention to it or even recognized it, 'cause for a while I didn't, but there was like multiple gangs there at the same time.
Yes.
Just chilling.
The hood was there.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
I love too. The hood was there, and then you see somebody like Dolph pull up in the Lamborghini, and ain't nobody tripping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the dudes it'd be crazy because while we'd be out there cleaning up or, making sure stuff was ready for the next day, some dudes would come up and be like, it'd be like OGs, it'd be young dudes, and they'd be like, look, man, we whatever you need, like ain't nothing gonna happen, ain't no beef, ain't nothing going on while y'all here. You got my word, and it was like, it felt like home, man. Like that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
When somebody trying to bring something positive to the community to help it, I wouldn't necessarily say grow, because like you said, the gentrification was already happening.
Yeah.
There was nothing that I could physically do to stop that. But for them to see somebody wanting to take care of what was left and get behind it and support it, to this day, people be like, man, why don't you take it back over there? I'm like, dude, we can't even fit in the gym that
Not
we in.
no more, yeah,
We can't.
buddy.
This gym, we started humble beginnings outside, maybe 175 people, 200 people coming on our best day, to taking it into the gym at Central Park where, it was standing room only, to then moving over to Grady, now being at Kip Atlanta Collegiate on the west side where that gym holds almost 3,000 people, and we almost got to move out of there. So super thankful for the support that the city's been giving, but I knew, bro, like once I got that year 1 and 2 under my belt and I could figure out how to make it connect, it was over.
Yeah, and also you did a great job recruiting pro players, which, eventually, it became like a premier pro-am league in this city.
Right.
You started seeing the Kyries come through the world.
Yep.
And I think a big part of it, again, go back to the man we just shouted out, Lew Will.
Right.
Like, I didn't know much about Lew Will. As a matter of fact, it's so crazy. When I did that interview, I think it was year 1.
Yep.
The only thing I knew about Lew Will at that second was he lived in Philly and he was on the radio for some reason. I didn't know nothing else about that man's background.
Right.
I got to learn about Lew watching the A.E.B.L. And again, I got a whole nother level of respect for Lew because Lew's level of commitment to this league.
Yes, sir.
And his level of excellence playing. Like I was there the day that he scored that 60.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this level of excellence playing brought the Kyries of the world, brought the Jerry Jacks of the world.
That's my guy, man. I mean, you know, I tell people all the time, man, we have one of those like unique relationships, like what's understood don't need to be said.
Yeah.
You got me, I got you, you know what I mean? And we both, I feel like, connected at the right time. And shout out to my guy Paul, who kind of helped make that come together. Like I had Lew, I coached Georgia Stars, you know. So I lived in Snellville. He went to South Garnett High School. So I was really fond of, you know, him and his career, but we had never built. Like we didn't know each other personally like we would call each other. But my guy Paul, he was like, yo, Jah, I believe in what you're doing. You know, we going to get Lew involved with it. Like I said, league was getting ready to start up. Lew showed up, and Lew's been there from the day we started to today. You know, and anything we ask of him, no matter what it is, he's always been like, yo, if I can do it, I'm going to do it. And then, like you said, just him being there, man, people don't respect. In my personal opinion, I'm glad that he's starting to come out more because for a while, Lew was low-key. Mm-hmm. He was like high-key with certain things and low-key with, like, bragging about himself and talking about who he was. But, like, the true essence of being the underground GOAT that's what he is. That dude is like the superstar. Yeah. Everybody want to live his lifestyle. You got to remember how many dudes hang with Meek, right? Off the court at that time when Meek was just bubbling.
Exactly. He was Dream Chaser.
Yeah. You know what? He is Dream Chaser. Yeah. You know, they got a label together. They support each other like brothers should. And, you know, like I said, man, that dude has been beyond, you know, a supporter and an ambassador for A.E.B.L. around the country, you know. So shout out to Lew, Uptown Sounds, mad love for the whole family.
You think Lew's a Hall of Famer? I think Lew's a Hall of Famer.
Guaranteed.
I think so too. Automatic. Best six man ever.
Guaranteed.
Best six man ever. He automatically makes any team better right this second.
Yep.
Like
and that's why I was so mad. Not to say that other people are not deserving of the All-Star, but it's like, yo, this dude is carrying a team with 2 Hall of Famers on it.
Basically, right now.
Like, you're right. Yeah. Just for that, you warrant the All-Star. Yeah. And, I get it as a fan vote and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, the NBA, they need to make some type of modification to the rules of fan voting that maybe, I know one of my guys was even bringing it up, and I never thought about this. Why don't they have a 15-man roster like they do on actual teams? Why do they cut it at 12? That's 3 spots for guys like Lew who deserved, and Bradley Beal and Devin Booker that deserve to be on there because they play in markets that may not be as big as LA, New York, and Chicago, but these dudes are deserving of an all-star spot. Yeah. You know, and they going to actually help the game because they are nice. Yeah. You know, these ain't no just dudes you saying, oh, let them slide in just because. No. So, you know, Lew's definitely a Hall of Famer. Anybody that disagree with that, I don't know what basketball you've been watching for the last 10 years.
Bro, I had this argument a little while ago. They was like, I don't know, he come up. I'm like, bro, this man is almost like an automatic 20-piece. He makes every team better. I haven't seen one. Philly, pick a team he was on where he didn't elevate that team immediately. Even the little short time that he was here in Atlanta, they was rolling. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's a glue guy, and he get buckets. Yeah. Can't nobody stop. We be laughing like when we go out to eat and we watching them play. It's like, dude, when he go left, he hitting it. Mm-hmm. And then if he give you a head fake, they going for it. So you getting free throws. And he do the same thing at A.E.B.L. And people be like, oh, they giving Lew. I'm like, dude, he do the same thing in the NBA. This is what he do. And in his game, not to get on Lew all day, but his game is so like almost like nonchalant, old fashioned that you don't pay attention to what he does. It's a lot of up face, a lot of flat jumpers.
Yeah, it's fundamentals. It's fundamentals.
All water. Yeah. Yeah, he did his thing, man. So with the A.E.B.L, you know what I'm saying, I know that you're growing into another space here, like as far as saying even with the audience, you're almost outgrowing Kip right now. Where do you see the growth going? Like, do you think we might see some summer league games played down at State Farm?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we got 2 more years, dog. It's year 8 right now. Yeah. Ooh. You know. So within these next 2 years, there's gonna be a lot of exponential growth with, like, we have a high school event now. We're in the women's, we're trying to support WNBA, and trying to build some camaraderie around that in the city. Yeah, man, if I say this all the time, and people be like, "Oh, you crazy," but it's either State Farm or I'm gonna build my own State Farm. So it's one or the other, It's like I'm gonna give it a shot, and if we can't make that work, I'll build my own arena, that'll be the A.E.B.L arena that'll support the Atlanta community.
Look, I'm going to see that happen because I know Beer and Tacos was at Phillips Arena. Like, I could totally see A.E.B.L happening at down there, man.
Yeah.
So I know you got another event coming up, the S.M.E.S, which is something I wanted to dig into a little bit.
Okay.
Speak to us about sports marketing and entertainment, because clearly all three of those things go together. Speak to us about what made you feel like the event was something that was going to be a needed thing.
Well, one of the things that really intrigued me about the idea of Sports Music Entertainment Summit, shout out to Portia, that's my co-founder with this summit that we've been doing for 5 years now. When I started going to like South by Southwest, A3C, Revolt, I wasn't getting anything. Yeah. And even when I was still fresh in the game, just coming up, it was like everybody was just on there talking about themselves. Like they were trying to brand themselves on the stage. And I felt like if you're in that position already as an exec or as this corporate leader or this influencer, yes, you got to talk about yourself, but you should also be passing gems on to people out in the crowd who spent their money to come to learn, right? They didn't come to talk about how many awards you got or how many artists you signed. They want to know how. How did you get there? How did you sign this artist? How did you negotiate, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you can't give up too much, but, because of the saying, the game is to be sold, not told.
But you can get a peek into the game.
Right. Yeah. But, I mean, the internet is the game, right? You can Google anything. So what we wanted to do, and not only that, let me take a step back before I mention that, is it was not impacting people that look like me. So I wanted to create something that young professionals, people who are shifting careers, and college students could get a firsthand look and connection to these people who make the decisions. So with the summit, that's what we do. We focus, our ticket prices are low. This is not a money-making scheme. This is like education, resources, teaching people. We do 3 workshops in the morning, and then we have our this year is going to be our women's and entertainment panel is going to be off the charts. Okay. Like that's in years past, the music has always been the one because this is a music city. Yeah. But this year, that women's and entertainment panel is going to be crazy.
Who's going to be on it? Do you know? Can you run it?
Yeah. So Miss Basketball, Marsha Butler, a friend from 11 to Live. Oh, okay. Jay Nash from V103. Man, the list is crazy. We got about like 6, like superstar in my eyes, superstar and powerful, impactful women who are going to be coming to give the game to these young sisters to show them how to level up and get in the game. Them days is over as far as like, oh, it's you got to wait for somebody to give you an opportunity. Nah, we live in this is Wakanda for real. Yeah. You create your own opportunity, and the vibranium is right here amongst us. On the real. We are the vibranium. If y'all peep it, if y'all really look at the movie and dissect it from a different lens, from it being like a Marvel character or whatever, like they're really just saying like all those black people were the vibranium. And that's what I feel like Atlanta is. So that's why we created the SMES. Our goal next is to take this to a national level. Okay. Take it from Atlanta, spread Atlanta across the country, bring faces that are from here and plug them into New York, LA, Chicago, San Francisco, and make sure that they understand that like, hey, that saying Atlanta influences everything is true. If you look at any artist, you look at athletes, commercials, brands, what are they doing? They're mimicking what we're creating here. So it's like it's nothing more important than making sure that, to me, that this city gets its just due.
What's the biggest change we can expect at the SMES?
Like I said, it's gonna be it's almost like hand to hand. Okay. There's no real like separation, ain't no security guards and bodyguards like, oh, you can't touch. The panelists after they talk on the panels and the workshops. They come out in the audience and mingle and network. Right in the mid between our workshops and our panels, everybody's in the networking room, just kicking it, passing cards around, exchanging phone numbers. And we have a little story that we're gonna tell over the next couple of weeks. But like 3 people that came to the summit over the past 3 years all have either got scholarships to John Marshall Law School. They're now working for like BMI, ASCAP. So you're like, the one thing that I would say people should look for and why they should come is because this job's being given out right there on the spot. Like, this ain't no, yo, send me your resume later. It's like, yo,
what you doing now?
What you doing right now? Yeah. How can I help you? How can you help me? So, you know, with anything, man, that's what we stand on, is creating opportunities for our people.
Man, I hope one of the opportunities being created is sports management. Like, we need to see, and I love, I think another thing we share, Rich Paul.
Yeah, killing it.
Man, I admire what they're doing so much.
Killing
I want
it.
to see more brothers and sisters get involved on that end, and I think S.M.E.S. can be good for that as well.
Yeah, and the good thing, not to cut you off, but the good thing about us is, you know, I'm on that tier now. Like, I'm at that point where it's like, I've seen the Rock Nation be built. I've seen the Clutch be built. Like, now that's what crew marketing is. Yeah. Is we're building that new creative resurgence, not just in Atlanta, because we got people all over the country that work for us. But like, we need, just like you said to Rich Paul, when I think about Rich Paul, I say, okay, Rich got LeBron, and then he took off from there. Mm-hmm. But what people don't know is that they built on the same track together. So what LeBron did that was smart. Why? That's my guy. I will argue with anybody to the death about LeBron.
Follow him on Facebook. You do.
LeBron did not only change the narrative about African Americans, he opened the doors. Mm-hmm. So when he walked in on that draft, he brought his boys with him and he got them educated. He didn't just say, yo, I got a bag now, let me give y'all a check.
Yeah, no.
He put them in positions where they can learn. He took his agent and told his agent if he was going to sign with him, he had to teach his guys how to do it. And 2 years later or 3 years later after his rookie deal, that's when his boys took over. You know what I'm saying? But how many, I mean, not saying, because people will say, oh, Michael Jordan and them. I don't know. I was too young to know. Yeah. So I'm only speaking what I've seen and witnessed with my own eyes. That's what I'm trying to do with my guys and my circle. It's like, I'm not about to hand you no check just because you my friend. You got to do the work. Yeah, this table right here, I'm going to set the table, but I need you to come with an ingredient to make this bigger. Yeah. You know, so that's what I love about Mavericks, LeBron, and Ernie, is that they all bring something to the table that they all benefit and eat off. And even Paul Rivera, like, people don't know, like, that's one of the dudes that helped broker the deal for LeBron.
You know what I love about them is, and they face the same criticism JayZ faces as well, especially when he started Rock Nation and titles. When you start taking power, literal power away from people and showing that not only can I do this, but really all of us should be able to do this. Right. You start messing up the ecosystem. Yeah. Yeah.
And the craziest thing about it, and you know, I'm like I said, man, I know who I am. I'm sure of myself. Yeah. I know I'm still growing, but I know who I am. I feel like what even makes it crazier is that I don't really see white folks talking about how they taking over. It's more black people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why they doing this and how they get to do this and why he got all these athletes and how LeBron helping them. Well, they've been doing it for years. Yeah. You know, and the crazy thing is, and I'll speak on this. I don't know if you've been keeping up with it, but like Stevie Mills is family to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, dude literally just got a pink note today.
Oh yeah, for
right?
the Knicks.
The Knicks, right? Yeah. He got a pink note today, and all they did was slide him to the board. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he didn't lose his job; he just lost his title.
What they did was just they put him in another space.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So it's like, man, this has been going on like that for years, and now we finally understand, you know, how to maneuver and get through these doors and these mazes that they created for us. And it's like, I get it. Not everybody gonna root for you or cheer for you, and you shouldn't expect that. Yeah. But it's like, dude, y'all could be learning.
Yeah, I felt that, when Braun first went to the Heat and then went back to the Cavaliers, there was a lot of rumblings about, about loyalty and all this other stuff. And I'm like, nah, what my man's doing right now is he's breaking down a door so a bunch of other people could walk through. Right. The level of just flexibility, the level of their own of ownership that NBA players have right now has a lot to do with how this man.
How he moved.
Yeah, moved his
life. And shout out to Chris Paul and a lot of the guys too. Like that unit of guys, LeBron, Chris Paul, D Wade, like Melo, they've been literally fighting for this internally. So like now the NBA PA, the players got their IPs back. So before the NBA owned them. Basically, you got to do what we say, and if you're going to eat, we're going to eat too. Now the NBA Players Association has taken that back. Now they control the narrative, and Chris Paul is the president. So he like, look, I've been through it. My boy is going through it, and he's disrupting. And like I said, the crazy thing what I like about all that is I feel like since my son's 7, I feel like since his age, I've been a disruptor. Yeah. I've never done things the way that people say they got to be done, and that's how I feel like about the game. It's like we got to really disrupt this game to get our piece of the pie.
No, I agree. And again, that's another reason why, y'all don't get it. I don't have to speak to Jah forever. But me and Jah can sit down and talk for hours, man, because we're here. Like, I totally get you. In order to really make stuff happen, you really got to disrupt the line. And you can't just keep following along with everything that's going on. At some point, you got to introduce something new to the ecosystem. And either they take it or they don't.
Right. And if they don't, because everything doesn't work, right? Like, I said to my sister the other day, I was like, I'm excited. I'm being real with you. Like, people again will probably be like, yo, you crazy. I'm excited for an opportunity to fail right now. Because it feels like, everything I'm doing is working. Everything. Bro, from the last 3 years, bro, I ain't missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? From the ABL side to brand to marketing to dealing with clients,
it's scary, ain't it?
Yeah, it's almost like, damn, like where am I gonna catch my hiccup at, right? Yep. So it's like, man, I wanted to hurry up and come because I want to go ahead and get and learn through it and go to the next level. Yeah. And I feel like but recently I had watched Ray Diallo. I always say his last name, Diallo.
The guy
he's like Puffy's mentor or whatever.
Oh, no, somebody else.
So if you watch, I'll send you the link. If you watch the video of him and Puffy talking, Puff says like he's at that point in his career where he feel like he hitting the glass ceiling. Because he feel like, where else can I go? I'm a billionaire, dog. Like everything that I set out to do, I did it. What's next? Right? And I'm nowhere near that yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like for where I'm at, I'm like, that's why I think and why I put so much energy around what we trying to do with this multicultural agency is because we've played the background for at least solid 7-8 years. How many brands have I worked and created their strategy and their marketing plan that won an award that was successful? And true indeed, I got a check, but that didn't help me sustain. Yeah. Where people were like, yo, you know what? You dope. People like, yo, what you do? You get what I'm saying? And like I've had multiple conversations about that recently, man. It's like my end goal, man, is like I looked up to Steve Stout. I study Mark Echo. I respect all of the multicultural marketing agencies that are out there, from Co-Train at Team Epiphany all the way to Translation to Liquid Soul here. Kenny Burns. There's a lot of people that I watched and studied at a young age when everybody else was just BSing around. So I feel like it's my turn. So I'm ready to take this thing full on, man.
Bro, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm getting a lot of Worldwide West vibes, man. I'm getting a lot of Worldwide West vibes. And the crazy thing is, I just want my hand to be shown. I ain't trying to be in the background. Look, because West, West control the stratosphere, bro. Bro, West could be in this room with nobody who knows.
That's it. It's crazy. Last year at All Star, dude walk in the room. Everybody jump into these celebrities and rappers and the different things. And he just walks in the room, dog. And I tap my boy. I said, see, I'm telling you, that's how, when you get to that level, you don't care. Bro, I don't care if nobody know my name. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody know your name. Yeah. The people that don't is the people that ain't in the room.
Factuals, man.
Yeah, man. Like, the long-term goal is to get myself to build and keep working at that level. I don't want to be doing all the stuff that I do forever. You know, I said I'm gonna retire at 47. I'm 37, so that's 10 years. You know, so either, I'm at that point now. Either you got to get down or you lay down.
I feel you,
know.
Man.
So
I feel you.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. So where do you when are we gonna see you get back into the music thing? Like I know you and I don't want to. Hopefully, I'm not speaking out of turn. I feel like you kind of stepped away from A3C.
Yep.
So are we gonna see you get back into the music thing where you're kind of like helping out with situations like A3Cs and things like that?
Yeah, well, you know, we've been talking about it obviously with the new regime over at A3C. You know, I'm super excited to see what those guys are gonna do. I just don't do stuff that I don't love doing no more. To be honest with you, I'm at that point. Like if it's almost like the Drake quote, right? Like if it ain't fun, I'm gonna be done with it.
Yeah.
Like that's where I've been with music. Like all my friends are managing the biggest artists, you know, the biggest artists in the game, and you know, I try to throw alley-oops here and there with brand support or marketing ideas, but I don't know, man. I don't see the fun in it no more.
Yeah.
It really seems like true cutthroat business.
That's how I feel. Like sometimes I'll be looking like, yo, I can't believe I did that even that long. Like
Yeah.
I walk in the rooms now and it's like, matter of fact, I told somebody I have so many music stories I never let go. Like I told
Right.
somebody recently, I had a story about Nicki Minaj. I ain't never let go because I was like, yo, I'm gonna be in music forever.
Right.
And then I started this and I was like, really, I should let all them shits go.
Right.
Like
Right.
I don't
Right.
get all of these.
And it's crazy, man. Like to see, you know, to kind of see the growth that you've had, man. And I know, you know, this conversation wasn't necessarily about cannabis, but you know, like I have been thinking for a while, like I need to connect you with some folks that helped me start A.E.B.L. who are in the game now, right?
Yeah.
That you know you met, you just don't even know that they do it because they've been a little discreet with what they're building.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, shout out to the Good Life fam. They
was on the show?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
man.
like but no, like seeing you doing it and you know, like that's just how I am. I'm the dot connector. So I'm like, how can I get all my people to work with each other in some way? And then when I seen you start this and then I seen them start, I'm like, dude, this about to be something.
Yes,
you know,
man.
so shouts to you, bro, and taking this thing head on because again, like you're a pioneer. I had again, maybe the world had been closed off, not saying, because, you know, people get upset, like, oh, he wasn't the first. You know, I didn't see anybody else.
Oh, no, I'm the first.
Bringing it, bringing it to the forefront and making it where our community is being educated on this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the dope game. Like, had we knew what the dope game really was going to be back in the 80s, we could have took ownership of it and not fell accustomed to it.
I think about that. You know, I had a chance to go meet Branson about 4
Yeah, I
years
seen your post.
and meet Branson, had a conversation with him, and I think to this day, man, how in our industry, especially in cannabis, we have a thing where we big up smugglers and big up people who are drug dealers,
Right.
but black people, we still have yet to embrace that. Not only was Branson like way ahead of his time what he was doing with the delivery service, packaging,
Right.
his marketing, like all
Right.
this was ahead of the game. Like,
Right.
yo, give him his roses now. Like big that up, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because when it become $1 trillion industry, then it
Yeah.
ain't us no more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Then they take ownership. Like, yo, we did it. We was doing it. No, like you took what we was doing, put it into a profit state, and then made it commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you've been locking us up for decades
Yeah.
on these type of things that you've been doing in your garage.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know, so you know, like I said, man, I'm not a smoker. A lot of my friends are, but I do understand the business of it. Like I've been researching it. You got a lot of NBA guys that are getting into it, Al Harrington. You know, so I see the lens through them. Like, yo, how this dude was an NBA player, star, made a lot of money, and now he's investing his money into, you know, cannabis and doing education. Like I seen him on he was on somebody's podcast and he was saying like, I gotta find the article that came out because it was like on Bleacher Report or something.
Yeah,
where he was talking about like, yo, he made more money in like the last 5 years than he did his whole rookie contract.
I can believe that.
You know, so. You know, just seeing, like I said, man, this growth and progress happening, it's super dope to see. You know, like I said, man, the building, like you've been in the grind in the trenches from pretty much, I would say, the beginning of a lot of people's stories.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I've been here 20 years, and a lot of people have come and go, and you still here. You know, so much respect to that, bro.
Appreciate that, man. You know, I thank the weed. Thank the weed for keeping me sane and solid, man. So S.M.E.S is coming up soon, man.
Yep.
How can people get tickets and how can they get involved with the event?
So you can follow us on S.M.E.S Summit on Instagram, Twitter, and Sports Music Entertainment Summit on Facebook. You can follow me. I'm Jah, the CEO, as well as A.E.B.L is A.E.B.L Hoops. And the website is ABLHoops.com. And we got a lot of cool things coming up, man, that I'm excited about. I can't wait to see what happens with this A3C thing. We got something really cool that's going to take place. I'm not going to put it out there too soon. We'll come back when we get ready to launch it and talk to y'all about it. But we are trying to, I'm supporting some creatives to build something new.
That's what's up, man. Jah, I totally appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, brother.
And I'm not even going to get into the Allen Iverson conversation because I watch.
Yeah, that'd be a whole nother day, man.
I'm watching Ja Morant right now. I'm like, this is an Allen Iverson.
That's it.
Yo, boy, 6'5", 6'6".
And the crazy thing is, people don't really know and respect that he's from South Carolina. He's from the upstate.
Yeah, him and Zion.
Yeah,
AAU together.
Yeah. So one of my boys that I went to college with, that's his godfather. So he played for the local AAU team before they went to their Adidas circuit. So Ja Morant, Zion, you got a bunch of kids coming from the upstate in South Carolina that are Miles Tate, PJ Hall. Those boys is balling. Dorman is number 3 in the state for high school basketball.
Bro, seriously, South Carolina got some balls. I remember seeing, it's so crazy because now we watching Zion now. I remember when 7th Woods was it. You know what I'm saying? 7th was it.
I'm born in New York, raised in New York, left New York at 16, moved to South Carolina to finish high school, came to Atlanta. South Carolina still holds we just did a sneaker ball up there on Saturday. So South Carolina still holds a special place, and just like I've been doing in Atlanta, trying to build and cultivate kind of the new era of basketball, I eventually want to, when you ask the question about A.E.B.L, is to take A.E.B.L to a national level where we do stuff around the country. Obviously, we've been doing the CIAA celebrity game for a couple of years now. I don't know what we're going to do when it moves to D.C. But, people don't even know the history. I'm a big research junkie, especially when it comes to basketball. But people don't realize Kevin Garnett's from South Carolina. Ray Allen is from South Carolina. Shammond Williams is from South Carolina. Those are Elgin Bell is from South Carolina. Alex English. A lot of these dudes that are Hall of Famers and legends, it's just South Carolina has just never been that place. It's country.
Bro, you got me having a flashback because in my house right now, in my bedroom in my mom's house, excuse me, it's not my house. There's a sporting news that I had when I was in high school that had Kevin Garnett in it. And I remember reading it this dude's gonna be nice apparently.
See, people just know Farragut, Kevin Garnett. They don't know Malden, Kevin Garnett. Because the story, even when you went back and they did the little 30 for 30 or whatever on him, they talked about Malden, but they talked about him getting in trouble there with the fight. So, South Carolina's got rich tradition and history. Shout out to my boy Debo Samuels. Just played in the Super Bowl. They should have kept going to him, giving him the ball. They might have had a better chance.
Hey, but you know what? I feel like Kyle Shanahan. If the Super Bowl's only 2 quarters, this man got 2 rings.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? He got 2 rings.
He did the same thing twice.
Did the same thing twice.
Yeah.
He just can't get past 3rd and 4th, man, for some reason.
Yep.
Ja, I appreciate you coming through, man.
I
appreciate you and sharing your knowledge. And it's definitely dope to see your growth and see your journey as well because you're like I say, it's Worldwide West you're looking at right here. You're really going to be really impressed.
That's love.
Yeah, it's happening. So that's Cash Color Campus High Level Conversation. It's sponsored by JayZ Elevation. We out.
All right.
So we're going to take